Jude the Obscure, and it is Hardy's symbolic indictment of Christianity. Hardy's symbolic indictment. Yeah. What is the meaning of indictment? Yes, meaning of indictment. Published by University of California Press. Okay. Yes, anybody? Indictment. What is the meaning of indictment? Yes. Okay, Chandni and Kishan also is there. Okay, they said continue. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
A formal charge or accusation of a serious crime.
Arop namo, serious charge. Okay, formal charge of accusations of the things. Yeah, on this. So here it is on Christianity. Yes, symbolic charge on of Christianity. So critically, he tries to look at Christianity as something responsible for people's unhappiness. So now you also, while this studying this article, you also will remember that, or keep in mind that worldwide academic studies are done where people do question religion. Not only the writers writing and questioning, but even when the critical analysis are done, the scholars are writing, and all these universities which may belong to the Christian world also publish those things, and they study also those things. So sometimes when people give us this example that why always Hindu religion, why only you abuse Hinduism, it is not so. It is not so. It is everywhere people question, they argue, they talk about it, they discuss about all those things. It is a worldwide phenomenon. It is not only about one or the other religions. Okay. Okay, so Jude the Obscure marks Hardy's transition from fiction to poetry. So this is like a text from that. After this, he stopped writing novel. So the writer tries to say that this novel is very symbolic also. Like poetries are symbolic. Novel is very realistic, and poetry is very symbolic. So this writer tries to see that this is a phase of transition from novel that is realistic to poetry that is more of symbolic. And so this novel is very symbolic also. So all these characters can be studied symbolically. So symbolically in terms of Christianity, Judaism, paganism, all those religions, and in that way this can be studied. Hardy's image, second paragraph I am reading. Hardy's imagery in Jude falls into complexes and clusters in a manner almost Jacobian, and as a result, the image take on distinct symbolic overtones, symbolic imageries that are used. It becomes very distinct, very specific symbolic overtones. The most obvious group of images is that associated with Arabella's animality. So one by one, these characters are said. Arabella, animality. Yes, Arabella's animality. Like she is compared, like there is imagery of pig. that goes with Arabella. So the father of Arabella is also the running a slaughterhouse, butcher, and pig. And so this one, she meets Jude by throwing a pig's pizzle at him. A central incident in their courtship is chasing pigs. After she and Jude are married, she keeps a pig. And it is the slaughtering of this pig that leads to the breakup of their marriage. This pig imagery is used to show other characters in the light of Arabella. Jude, after his first defeat at the hands of society, lies down in a pigsty, symbolizing his later defeat and return to Arabella. In Shu's case, after Arabella, the pig imagery, in case of Jude also, speaks about his pigsty and his defeat. And then Shu's character, in Shu's character, the pig is a mere bristle, symbolizing her lack of the sexuality Arabella has. Arabella is associated with other recurring ideas. Marriage is one. She is throughout the novel preoccupied with getting or leaving a husband. In this way, marriage is linked with the sensuality she despises. Yes? So another example, if you see here, is marriage. But marriage is dealing with sensuality. So for Arabella, who is more of a sensual woman, the marriage is this, but she despises marriage. She don't want to be in marriage because she is not a sensual lady. She is devoid of those sensuality, which Arabella is all about, those aspects. Drink and drunkenness is another example. After marriage, drink and drunkenness. When Arabella and Jude are courting, they go to a tavern. She reveals after they are married that she was once a barmaid. She turns up as a barmaid later, as the wife of the tavern keeper, Cartlet. She uses liquor to get Jude to remarry her at the end. Blood is the third example. Drink, drunkenness, marriage, and now third one is blood. Blood is the third. There is the pig's blood after the slaughter. She buys from Wilbert's Love a filter made from pigeon's blood and uses it while Jude is dying. The contrast with Shu's mercy is saving her two pet pigeons. Yeah? In the novel as a whole, this example, this imagery is about marriage, about drinking, liquor and drunkenness, or blood, or even the example of blood that we see. In the novel as a whole, the principal complex of images is that of, if you see all this thing, what we see here, principal images are, they represent religions like Jewish, Christian, and pagan. And pagan religion is represented in this imageries here. Okay? In this context, the pig images associate with Arabella dub her the unclean animal of the Jew. So Arabella and the uncleanness and the pig idea connects her with the Jewish religion. The names of the characters form an important part of this religious imagery. Jude is most immediately the Jewish writer in the New Testament who counsels the Christianized Jew to remember the Old Testament laws and dispensations. Also, Jude is German name for Jew. Jude's character, combining sensuality and aspiration, is characterized of Old Testament, though the heavy, almost gross sexuality of the songs of Solomon and the aspirations and despair of Ecclesiastes. Philoson's name echoes Philistines, and that again has a biblical sense, a non-Jewish people, non-Jewish people there. So this paragraph tries to say that if you see the name of these characters, Sue, and then here Philotson. Philotson remains of Philistine. Philistine. Philistine again reminds of the people who are non-Jewish people. Jude reminds of another Jew, but he is also Christian also, because it reference into the New Testament as an epistle writer, apostle of Christianity there. Philotson, Philistine, who are non-Jewish people. And in Matthew Arnold's essay, Culture and Anarchy, Philistines are used as a kind of a middle class people, middle class or working class people, that also get represented in terms of Philotson as an example here. In next paragraph, the structural interrelations of the characters are equally symbolic. Structural interrelations between the characters is also equally symbolic. Hardy rigidly pairs off the four principles according to traits of aspirations and sexuality. Four important, all these four characters, Arabella, Jude, Sue, and Philotson, four characters. How are they paired together by Hardy in the narrative? According to their aspirations and sexuality. So, no matter with whom Jude and Sue settle, a mismatch is inevitable. Jude and Sue, they are so obscure characters, these two, that with whomsoever they will match, they are going to create a problem. They are very obscure characters. So for them to meet any character is not possible. It is always going to lead towards some kind of a problem, either with Philotson or Arabella, or even with them, each other. Both of them also will have that problem. So they both aspire towards some form of higher life, whereas Arabella and Philotson seek only suitable social niche. So you can say that Jude and Sue, they aspire for some kind of higher life, intellectual life, free life, liberal life. That they don't want to be under the control of society, religion. That way they want to see higher life. Whereas Sue and this character, they want to, like, lower life means socially accepted, social acceptance, that kind of life. They are ready religiously, socially, that way they want to live this life. Jude and Arabella are sexual people. Jude and Arabella, they make the another pair. They are sexual or sensual. Arabella and Jude are this. And Sue and Philotson, this pair of characters, Sue and Philotson, are non-sexual characters. So Philotson's relation with Sue or marriage is not in that way attracted towards the body, the way Arabella or Jude also is sensual in this. So even outside marriage, he goes to have physical relation with Sue bridehead also. Thus, either Philotson's conventionality or Jude's sexuality must thwart Sue. So now see, Sue's character, if Sue will go with Jude, then Jude wants sexuality also, but she is non-sexual. And Philotson is accepting social standard. He wants to live that life. Sue wants to live a higher life. So if Sue goes with Philotson, then he is not for higher life. And if she goes with Jude, Jude is more sexual and she is unsexual. So either way, for Sue, the life is thwarted. And the same thing happens with all the characters, with all the characters as such. Thus, either Philotson's Jude sexuality thwarts Sue, and either Arabella's vulgarity and Sue's frigidity must thwart Jude's character. She fits the higher side of Jude's character. Arabella fits the lower side of Jude's character. So if you see Jude, and if you see the character of Jude, the higher side of the Jude's character, we find here Sue settling down with that, and here Arabella, the lower side of the life of Jude's character is satisfied by Arabella, the higher one by the character Sue. In Sue's case, Jude fits her higher side and Phillotson her lower. In each of the two major characters, the dichotomy is set up between the better and the worse sides of their natures. Jude's aspiration in the form of religion and learning against his sensuality in the form of weaknesses for women and drink. Sue's aspirations in terms of art and anti-conventionality against her lack of sexuality and a certain marked propensity for respectability. It is continually pointed out that Jude and Sue are exactly alike, except for their difference in sensuality and in the matter of religion. In the matter of religion, they are very different. Now, setting this character symbolically in this way, this observer, this writer, tries to look. This critic, who is the writer of this article? Norman Holland. Yes? Norman Holland is now trying to see that giving this situation or symbolic representation of all this character in different religions, Jewish traditions or Christian tradition or pagan tradition, it tries to unfold. And ultimately it comes down to the thing that the overpowering ideas of Christianity, it thwarts the life of all the characters. That what as the religion Christianity tells. Now we can remember here that paganism means pre-Christian religion, paganism. So when people have not belief in not one god but many god, they become pagan. They are considered as pagan. They believe in many gods, nature as a god, whereas Christianity has a different idea of God. And this now in pagan life there is more of a freedom, there is Hellenism, and this character tries to be like pagan in many of the ways, but Christianity would deny those existence. Another thing there. And is the tragedy coming because of this Christian way of life or not? That is what Norman Holland tries to argue by putting symbolic character in this context, in this particular way. So I think your reading of the article will throw more light and give you more examples to see that how this idea, which begins in a very interesting way by symbolic characters and identifying them as what are the character types, and then how they are connected with religious symbolism, is very interesting to study or observe also. Okay? So this is another article which I think will help you. 2-3 articles that we have studied will help you to understand or get some better ideas about this text, Jude the Obscure. If you have any questions here, then you can ask. Any questions from anybody?